everyone.
Hello.
To the Woo the Werewolf game we are in. But otherwise, hello, welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back today with some Monster of the Week. And my cat has arrived just in time to come and eat my food. Otherwise, please check out all the links coming up in chat now. That includes Discord. We do have a channel specifically for this game. Otherwise, yeah, we'd love to hear what you think about it. Also, if you want to get into this game or one of our other viewer games like this, please head over to Twitter and drop Scrat a DM. Also, if you miss out on anything, all of our VODs are uploaded to YouTube, so you can head over there and check that out as well. And a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Hero Forge and all their amazing minis and how they completely blew that Kickstarter out of the water, something like 6,000% full. So please go check that out. We're doing more stuff with them very soon. Also, the wonderful Mage Hand Press. We have their Fae Folio this week. So go check that out. I'm very much obsessed with their dark matter, as people who have been on the channel before will know. And last but certainly not least, also the Deck of Many, with the Deck of Many Things, and also Humblewood, which is another one of our viewer games on this channel. It's animals again, but a lot more wholesome. So if you want to go and play a cute little bird or something like that, definitely head over there. Otherwise, I will come back to our alpha in a minute, but I will start with the very lovely Just a Little Nerd. Oh, hi, where can we find you on the interwebs?
Hi, I'm the very lovely Just a Little Nerd. I'm living a Bard Knock life, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Just a Little Nerd. I'm actually going to be rebranding soon, as I'm trying to get a hold of my new name and identity. So keep an eye on my social media and you'll be able to see that when it launches, because I'm excited about it. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, Scratticus. I'm always excited to be here and excited to play my lovely Reese Slenderman character again.
I remember how you described them last week now. Then let's hop down and say hello to Nathan. Oh, hi.
Hello, how's it going? I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. It is an honor to be here on this channel. I feel like I'm in the big leagues now. Wow, yay. Talking about myself and my stuff, I guess, sure. I am a tabletop RPG actual play streamer, podcaster, and tabletop in general, like writer. My shows tend to be in the realms of being cyberpunk, urban fantasy, incredibly gosh darn queer, and really anarchic. So hopefully I can bring some of that Afrofuturist queer energy to this mofo right here.
Wonderful. Thank you. Sorry, just navigate this wonderful cat here. And then, sorry.
Cat hype.
Cat hype.
We love the cats.
And then is it Devon? We said
Devon. Dub like the bird plus on like the word. Yeah, that's me. Hello. I'm Devon, GW Devon _ on Twitter and GW Devon here on Twitch. I play video games and I'm a huge nerd. And this is the second D&D campaign I'm doing. I'm doing another one with a group of friends on my friend Ultra Tom's channel, where I play a shadow tiefling wizard who has a problem with emotions. So we do that on Sundays. So if you want to come see that, that's 2 p.m. EST, which is like that's
about 7 p.m. GMT.
Behind GMT. Yeah, like 5 hours behind GMT. So you can check that out. Check me out there. Absolutely. And the DM thing really works, because that's how I got on this channel. So send Scrat a DM if you want to be on.
Yes, come play with us. All the people come play with us. Otherwise, I'm going to hand over to our very lovely Alpha.
Well, perhaps you would like to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Hey.
This
Yes.
is my profession, everyone. I am Alice, also White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. I'm the other half of the Academy. I am a photographer as well as a DM and player, as you can see. You can check out my links over there. Otherwise, I'm very, very excited to be back because I haven't changed yet. I realized last week I was too busy with the goo that I didn't actually change at all. So,
Got plenty of time.
yeah.
Plenty of time. Well, and I am Kaya. I am your alpha. A wookum, everybody. That's gonna be my thing every week. A wookum. And I'm your alpha for this evening. You can find me on Twitter at Crit Charisma. I mainly live here now, and they'll never get rid of me. I'm like glitter. Once I'm in, I'm in. I'm not going anywhere. So why don't we just go ahead and start with a recap? We started our previous session with our doctor, Pan Edwards, played by Alice, a member of the werewolf pack for a while, working down at the urgent care center. During which a group of teens came in presenting with some skin irritation on their hands. After some questioning, it became apparent that the only strange thing they could recall coming into contact with was some slime substance down at the comic book shop at the edge of the city center. Naturally. Pan took note of this and disclosed it to the Pack Alpha J after stopping in to drop off some food that was other than toast, recommending Pan rally some forces to investigate the situation. Meanwhile, across the town, our mundane Dustin was opening up his comic book shop to a putrid smell. After investigating, he came to the conclusion that of all the putrid smells he had come into contact with, this was indeed the smell of rotting flesh. As Dustin attempted to Febreze the situation, our 3 members of the wolf pack arrived to further investigate. Upon arrival, Dustin could sense the trouble as now 3 members of the pack had walked into his shop. Pan, now joined by Malkin, the pack's researcher that was played by Simon last week, and Reese, the pack's newest and youngest member, joined Dustin in investigating the slime and putrid smell. Dustin, taking the initiative, followed a trail of slime to the rear of the building, where he found a manhole to the city's underground sewer system, which he discovered by falling into it. This revealed a sea of animal corpses, appearing to be the dumping ground of some entity. After taking samples, our researcher Malkin was able to discern that a ghoul had set up camp in Silver Hollow's sewer system. The information was then taken back to the Pax Alpha J. The group decided that though night had fallen, this entity could not be allowed to continue to hunt, for the next prey may be a town member, and not just its stray animals. With a plan concocted, the team, joined by Jay, lured the ghoul out of its hiding. Harm was dealt and received before the creature was smote. The ghoul exploded in a wave of slime after being blasted with UV lights, attached to a truck provided by Lucy, the town's mechanic and close friend of Malkin. The monster was dead, but the questions remained. Why was it here? It hasn't been a ghoul in decades. If it passed through the veil, what else may await the town and the pack? And that's where we'll begin tonight's session. The night comes to a close, with Pan tending to some wounds. Some are more willing to care than others. Dustin, surprisingly unharmed, returned to his comic book shop / home, praying for rain to flush the smell away. Malkin went back to his haven above Lucy's garage to continue his research. Though tonight, a new member drives into town, following a mystery of their own. And another is drawn to a place their family hasn't been for generations. So, we pick up in the morning after our fight. Our wolves healed, either by the gifted hands of Pan, or the magic in their veins flowing from their deity, the Lycan. We will start with, Agent Emerald. Silver Hollow is new to you, but not to your order. The pack is one of the first lines of defense to the world, so your organization knows of the lore here. After careful interactions with some of the other members of the town familiar with the menagerie, pointed you in the direction of the pack's current seated alpha, who owns and operates the town's best diner, Jay's. And we will get back to that momentarily.
Sure.
And Trevor, you stride into town on a bus. with a hunger for knowledge and a real hunger growing in your belly. The bus stops midtown, and you see Jay's Diner in the distance, and a pole towards it that you pass off as your stomach's desire for breakfast. But let's go hop over to Reese. What is Reese up to this morning? As you choke on some tea.
So Reese, last night was pretty standard, fighting, more fighting, monsters, whatever. So they would have just snuck in to their house and avoided their parents by going in the back door while their parents were watching TV. And then, they would have been all like, Reese, honey, come talk to us. And Reese would have just slunk up the stairs with their half-empty bottle of Purell and then just methodically starts wiping Purell all over everything in their room because apparently it's the best thing now. And then they wake up smelling like rubbing alcohol and hand sanitizer. And then they are just going to wait in bed until they hear their parents leave. And then they're just gonna text Pan and be like, make a monster face symbol emoji, just the monster emoji, ? And then just lie there until called upon.
All right. You are smelling very fresh, very sanitized. It probably burns your nose a little bit more than others, your smell being a little bit more sensitive. But you like the burn. Feel the burn. And Pan, what are you up to today?
I think after the evening, Pam would have gone home, definitely showered, thrown absolutely everything in a long hot soak because germs get everywhere. And she would have made herself a cup of tea, made jam on toast, would have spent probably about 5 minutes trying to pick which jam she was going to go for. And she definitely lives in a teeny tiny apartment, probably above one of the local shops. There's only her bedroom and a tiny little kitchen that you can't really move around in much. But everything has its place. Everything is very methodical. And she probably just wait until the next day at the surgery when she knows she's got to go in. But she might even live above the surgery if that's a possibility, so she doesn't have to go far.
Perfect. Well, we'll roll into the following morning then. You'll go into your urgent care. Surgery in the UK is urgent care here, so they're synonymous, just so everybody is well aware. I also had to figure out what it was when she first told me. I was like, I don't. Anyway, so you go in. It's a slow morning. Not really anything is jumping out at you. There's no more stray teens coming in with weird rashes on their hands. The one thing that you do notice is that Joanne, your receptionist, who you had spoken to the day before, isn't in today. Normally she's working on this day. It's slow enough that her absence isn't really missed. Y'all are able to kind of work around it. But it is strange for her. But maybe you're thinking maybe she just came out with a cold and just hasn't woken up yet to call in to let you guys know what was going on. We will skip over to, we'll go to Agent Emerald. You come upon Jay's Diner. It is in the city center of Silver Hollow. It's an average looking diner, glass windows all around, have some of the window chalk to talk about the day's special, or one window is decorated for the current season. You know, the very warm and inviting, and on top it's got a mug and it says Jay's on it. And you walk into, it's bustling. It's probably about 8 o'clock this morning. Everybody's getting their breakfast. There's the inn a couple doors down, so people are probably coming in to get something better than the standard cereal and bagel.
Yeah.
And
actually,
yes,
can we get a shot just before we get into the diner where
absolutely
Agent Emerald's car, a relatively unassuming, I don't know much about cars, so it's a pretty average looking car, except the The coloring of it feels like it's in a Vanta Black kind of situation.
Okay.
It's absorbing light, and we get like a ground shot as the wheel and side of the door kind of comes up. The door opens, and we see like an elegant high-heeled boot with kind of like cigarette trousers kind of step click onto the concrete. We kind of get the cuts in and out of the cafe as everybody's kind of enjoying them. Breakfast and everything, as we hear in the distance the clack of shoes kind of making their way up the street, and then eventually a kind of like jingle. Is this the kind of like mom and pop diner that has like a bell at
Absolutely.
the top? Yeah.
Absolutely. And that smell of pancakes and fruit and pie and bacon just fills your nose. You know that if anybody's looking for a good meal, you come to Jay's.
Absolutely. Yeah. As they walk into the diner, we don't really catch their face. We kind of get a very, because they're new in town, who is this mysterious person? We kind of catch the back. They've got a long trench coat on, black, but tapers into dark green the further down you go. A kind of like white coiffed hair, shaved on one side and hanging down over the other, as they afro hair, about kind of like type B. It's curly, but like not as tight as my own. And they kind of step in front of the kind of like I guess kind of like waitress kind of space. Let's see where the voice is. It's a bit deeper and relatively flat. Good morning.
Well, good morning. You are very new in town, but I have to say, your style is amazing.
Their face doesn't emote. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just one today? Would you like to sit up at the counter, or would you like a booth?
A booth would be pleasant, thank you. Do you happen to have maple bacon pancakes?
Absolutely. We make the best here.
They continue to not emote, but their eyes glitter. That would be amazing. Thank you.
All right, well, this way. And she'll lead you back. She's like a 5'5", like petite woman. She's got her hair up and braided into like a nice, cool little mohawk, and you can tell she's got little pins on her lapel. She's trying to put her own little style into a bit of the uniform. Leads you back to the end of the... So it kind of L's the end of the diner with a booth by the window so you can look out. She tries to make sure you get a good view, and goes and puts in your order for your pancakes.
Thank you. And a cup of black coffee, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Any cream and sugar? Just black?
Just black, thank you.
Okay. And you'll see on her name tag, it says Agnes, and she'll go and she'll get your coffee for you.
They pull out a notebook from inside of their trench coat. It feels like they could pull pretty much anything out of there. Who knows how deep those pockets go? And they have like they write Agnes in it and kind of like circle it 3 times. What do these circles mean? As they wait patiently for their company.
Perfect. Let's see. Trevor, you're stepping off the bus and heading towards Jay's Diner. Why don't you go ahead and describe your character to us?
So Trevor is like 6'1", he's like 6'1", probably like a $155, like he is scrawny, but he is like kind of looks athletic. He's currently wearing just like straight like low top sneakers and like socks that go up too high, but he has them scrunched down because he thinks it's cool. And then he's wearing a black band tee with a green and black flannel over top of it, because his version of fashion isn't like what everybody else enjoys, but like as long as he's comfortable, he's cool. And then he's also wearing like ripped black jeans. Basically, he looks like somebody that should be straight out of high school in like the early 2000s. But he's super comfortable, so it's fine. He has really low cut, like long, wiry hair. Like if I had to measure, it'd probably be like down to here, it's cut, it's dark, like dark black, and he has this book bag on over his shoulder, and in the book bag, like pinned between the bag and like the straps, is this really old looking skateboard with a bunch of random stickers on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you're describing me in high school, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Me too.
Oh man,
Stickers.
2004 me is rearing an ugly head right now. Excellent. So you enter into the diner. The cool, crisp air is met with the warm air on the homely diner. It smells amazing.
He kind of turns sideways so that the skateboard doesn't like hit the door frame. He kind of like sidles in and then stretch, and then he's like, probably should just. And then he like pulls the skateboard out of the bag and just starts carrying it because that would make more sense.
Smart. Yeah. So you enter into the diner. You are not greeted by Agnes. You're greeted by one of the other waiters. Let's call them Jeff. Jeff sounds like a good name, right?
Okay.
Jeff. Jeff, 5'10", tanned skin with shaggy brunette hair. Meets you. Hey, how's it going? Oh, that's a cool skateboard. All right. Hey, just you? Anyone else?
Yeah, it's just me, man. It's just me. I like travel alone. I do my own thing.
Hey, man, respect. All right, cool. And he looks around and he's like, okay, well, all of my booze are taken, but I've got some seats up at the counter. Is that cool?
Counter's totally. Well, I was gonna ask about that anyway. Like, I prefer to sit at the counter.
Hey, man,
I'm
that's
a people
awesome.
watcher sometimes, so like.
Dude, I get it.
Better.
I get it. Man, being a waiter, same thing. You get to interact with so many people, but they're kind of like the same people. And like he's talking to you as he's leading you to the counters, like kind of like the same people. So it's cool seeing a fresh face in town. How's it? I'm Jeff. How's it going?
Trevor, what's going on?
Trevor. All right, cool. All right. So here's your seat. Let's see. Maggie is behind the counter. She'll take care of you. Dude, nice to meet you. Do you want me to put the skateboard behind the counter, or are you cool here?
No, it's cool. It's cool.
All right. Well, enjoy the breakfast, and maybe I'll see you around. All right.
No, definitely. Thanks, man.
And he saunters off. Sorry, guys, my inner Jeff is coming out. And he saunters off, leaving you to your heart's desire. Whatever you'd like to order, whatever you'd like to do. You definitely feel a little bit at home here. It feels like. It feels warm. It feels inviting, and it kind of feels full of adventure, which you're super excited about. And Maggie walks by, and you see her. She is short, she's about like barely 5 foot, but you wouldn't really know because she's wearing heels about this high, and you get the sense that maybe she's wearing those heels so that she can actually get a little higher up on the counter. Since obviously this establishment was not made for 5 foot people. But if you look behind her in the kitchen, there is a 6 foot tall woman that our other compatriots have come to know as Jay. She is about 6 foot tall, burly. She also has long tousled brown hair and kind of like brown eyes with like gold flakes in them. She looks super powerful. And
Trevor kind of looks at her and he's like, in his inner monologue, he's like, all right, don't piss her off.
and she'll kind of catch your eye and try to like stern and then crack, and she'll be like, and just wave and just go back to cooking. But she looks like she can handle some business.
Yeah.
And
Trevor's he's gonna like slick his hair back, and he's gonna like flip it behind him so it's out of his eyes. And you'll know, like, when he flips his hair, he's like the guy that uses way too much product when he doesn't need to, which is why his hair is so wiry. and then he's just gonna go, hey, Jeff said your name was Maggie?
well, yes, honey. Maggie, what can I get you, honey?
Can I just have a bowl of fruit and some pancakes? No bacon.
Nope, no
Plain-
bacon.
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay, that's fair. All right. And anything to drink for you, darling?
Just can I have black coffee? Just black coffee.
Black coffee, all right. And she'll go and she'll pour your coffee and she'll put in the order and she'll like hit the bell. It's like order in, and they'll start getting that prepared for you. At this point, Nathan, Agent Emerald, your order has arrived with your delicious pancakes, and it smells about as good as you thought it was going to be.
Absolutely. This smells delicious. Thank you. And they take their hair and tie it very neatly back behind. They get the napkin and tuck it in. I think this outfit's diegetic today, so the emerald lipstick stays throughout the entire of their character design. They tuck their napkin into the corner. They take their cutlery very solemnly poised as if they were butter conductor, and then absolutely devour this pancake. It is loud. It is a complete mess.
There's like a 4-year-old at the table across from you that's looking at you like super wide-eyed, like it was magical just to watch you eat like that.
It's probably loud enough to have Trevor look to see what the heck that noise was.
Oh, yeah. Trevor would kind of just like look over, and then he would kind of like wait until Agent Emerald, like if Agent Emerald started to make eye contact, but then he would just hold a thumbs up and be like, nice.
Agent Emerald is partway through licking the plate, puts it down and nods solemnly at you, and then goes back to have a sip of their coffee. The coffee is very good.
Agnes will come pick over your plate and go, well, I don't think we even need to wash this one. We can just put it right back on the rack.
Ah, that was a joke. It was funny.
Thank you. You're funny. I really... She just kind of giggles to herself and asks if you would like a refill of anything that you'd like, or if there's anything else that she can be doing for you right now.
That is a good question. Please come back in a few minutes and I may have another order.
Okay then. And she'll walk away and see to her other tables. Let's see. Reese. Hi. You get a text in the morning from your favorite family with your favorite dog, asking if, knowing that normally maybe you wouldn't be walking this early, but they had to call into work unexpectedly, and wondering if you could walk Jazzy this morning.
Yeah, I'll walk Jazzy. I reply with a Y. Or yes.
Perfect. They've by this point learned your lingo, and thank you profusely. Said that they'll give you a tip for the short notice, and that you have a key for the house, of course, to come in and get Jazzy. So you get ready, I assume?
Yeah, I spend a minute staring into my closet, and then I realize that everything in my closet is a plain black t-shirt and jeans. So I pull out a plain black t-shirt and jeans, and I wear them. And then I look in the mirror, and then I decide I don't want to do that. And then I go downstairs and I cross the street to where Jazzy lives to get my precious doggy. And then Jazzy like jumps up on me, and I like hunch over even more than I am normally hunched over to like scratch her ears and pet her. And then I would get her harness on her, and then I'll take her out to the usual park. And I'll just loom along with my doggy.
Perfect. I've made like a somewhat terrible map. I'm doing my best. Trying to get a map for everybody.
So it's the best map.
It's not great. We'll see.
One.
We'll see if it probably will change. It will change. But for right now, let's see.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Yo.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
it kind of looks like the symbol for Buddhism, and I like it, or Taoism.
I just started random drawing. So you are heading to the park, which is actually behind Jay's Diner.
Great.
So mostly through, let's see, over here that I haven't completed yet is where a lot of the residential areas are. So we'll say that it's a good like 10-minute walk to get to the park. You got a pretty good pace. The residential area is kind of like you have the town in the center, and then they kind of like peppered all around the town, and it's kind of like just a series of circles with Jay's Diner and the
city center being, of course, the epicenter of the town. And then, of course, you have like spotting of trees and everything because it's quite beautiful up here in Silver Hollow. It's a little bit removed. You've got the mountains in the distance that have a nice, landscape backdrop to everything, and then a smattering of woods that have some hiking trails that tend to draw in the adventure. So you're walking Jazzy, and you're see these spattering of woods, and you hear from the woods kind of this whispering, and the whispering sounds familiar. You can't really place it, and Jazzy perks up a little bit as if she also hears the whispers and smells something. But as soon as it's there, it's gone, almost as like a breath on the wind, and you continue your walk, not knowing in what direction it was. Maybe it was just the morning air whistling through the trees. We don't know. And you head to the park without an issue.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
When I first hear that, though, I probably would like pull out that slowly emptying bottle of Purell and just like put some on her paws and just be like, it's okay, and like try and reassure her and be like, Jazzy, this kills 99.9% of all bacteria, so if there's another ghoul, this will protect you. And then we will keep walking. And then I'll also text Pan, because she didn't answer my monster emoji text. I will now text her the wind emoji and a question mark.
Pan, would you like to reply to any of these texts? You are muted.
Pan is currently flicking through her notebook, which is basically her decoder for Reese's things, because Pan doesn't understand emojis. And it's taken her the time to figure out what it does, like when the monster emoji comes out, does that mean she's like, has she found a monster? Are they looking for one? Are they? And by the time that's come through, the breeze, like a little gust of wind comes through, and Pan just looks and texts back because she's sat at her desk. There's probably a patient in there with Pan, but she's trying to focus on what this is and like, give me a second, I know I've got this time. And messages back, is it breezy out? Like, just with a lot of question marks at the end of it.
And then my answer will be Y for yes. And then I'm also going to text back the monster face again and question mark, and then monster face breeze emoji together question mark.
The problem is here, because both Alice and Pam would be like, why? So I'm just asking. Because that's how I work. It'd be, why? Is it you asked me? Wait. And there will be a pause and looks at the patient that's in. It's like, oh, sorry, yes, we're done. And then sort of messages again. Do you want me to meet you? As in trying to get a straight answer. Because Pan just doesn't understand.
And in Reese fashion, I will message back a Y for yes, and then do the like plate with fork and knife emoji that usually indicates diner. And then I'm going to walk Jazzy around, because I'm sure that Pan is, a doctor or whatever and probably has stuff to do. So I'm just gonna like walk Jazzy around the park quick and then walk her home and then walk back to the diner. So maybe when I sent her the text, it would have been like food emoji 30 question mark.
Like the pancake emoji.
Now I know the food one, so Pan will be just like, oh, why didn't you just say that? And gets up and leaves probably the patient again, still in the room. Just like, no, you're fine. You're gonna need this, and hands over like a prescription and ushers them out as she goes and sort of pushes them out. It's just like, come on, I gotta go get some food.
Okay. And as you do that, Pan, and you go to leave, you nick yourself on the door a little bit. We had a wild magic surge, so I rolled to see who was going to get pinged, and it's you. You nick yourself on the door a little bit, and so it cuts just a little bit, and out of the cut comes these spiders, and it freaks you out as they're crawling all down your arm. And as soon as they reach the fingertips, they're gone.
I don't know if she'd freak out because she's seen a lot of weird stuff lately. I think she always walks into the door. I don't think she's actually very spatially aware. Mm-hmm. So she'll knock and then be like, huh. Walks over to the cupboard, takes out some ibuprofen, some Purell, some other stuff, and starts putting them all in her satchel. Takes another look. And all she does is pull her sleeve down. That's for another time. And starts walking towards the diner.
Perfectly. And as you're leaving, you still notice that Joanne has not come in yet to work. And
is there anyone in her place, or?
At this point, yeah, they would have called in. Let's see. What's a good name? Someone give me a good name.
Like a human name?
You know what? Surprised me.
Ralphin.
It was an unfortunate nickname that somebody gave them after a hard night of partying. They're not usually the person that they would normally put at the front desk, but Ralphing is taking the place of Joanne. They're not obviously doing as well as they would normally be doing.
I think Pan will go and just lean over the counter again and go like, how are you doing?
She had a system going and I don't her system's different than my system.
Yeah, the yellow labels are supposed to go next to the green labeled ones. You see those over there?
What about these blue ones? And he picks it up and they are obviously red.
The blue ones, and she's gonna she's gonna take them with a pen, write blue on them in case anyone else does, just because it makes it clearer sometimes, because she doesn't want him to worry. But they go next to, and then she looks down. The ones in the far left cabinet.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. It's a little different than what we usually do at the hospital. It's fine. I'll figure it out. Thank you so much, Doc, though. No,
that's fine. Also, she normally picks me up a coffee and a cookie, just so you know,
are you trying to tell me you want a cookie and a coffee?
No, but if tomorrow Joe's not in, just...
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Cool.
And she sort of looks down and goes, she doesn't know how to react with people most times, so she's like
and he fist bumps your hand.
Yeah. It's like,
no.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. You keep doing a good job. And she'll walk out with her hand upraised so that by the time she goes outside, she's putting that hand sanitizer on because she is paranoid.
Bye.
Surgery. Bye. And sort of big smile on her face, not too sure if it's all awkward or not.
Perfect. All right. And I assume you're heading to Jay's diner?
Oh yeah. She knows what the food emoji means.
Good. All right. Food emoji. Agent Emerald, at this point, you have drawn a little bit of attention to yourself. Your style is not known here amongst a lot of people, including the eye of the Alpha, Jay, and the diner's owner. And she comes over and she kind of refills your coffee a little bit and goes, "Well, I haven't seen one of your brood here in a while."
Have we met before? Or have you met one of my acquaintances?
I've met one of your acquaintances before.
What color?
Menagerie's known here.
What color? As just general fiction, every member of the menagerie goes by a color as their agent name. Emerald is not their real name, which would be dope if it was, but it's super ain't. What color did you meet before?
Mauve.
Oh. They stare out the window for like 3 seconds. Well, I'm glad that I can pick up the pieces where she maybe was lacking before. Can I help you?
Well, I was wondering if I could help you. What brings you through the town? And she'll kind of just set the pot down and slide into the booth across from you.
Yes, an equal exchange of information seems incredibly fair. I am looking to see if any members of your community have been going missing lately.
And she'll kind of think, one of my cooks didn't make it in today. But I didn't really think anything of it, essentially because they're a little bit unreliable sometimes, but it's fine. They just need a little bit of help, and some days they just have some down days and they just want to be by themselves, but normally they call. But I haven't heard from them today.
I see.
Why?
That does unfortunately maybe fall within the purview of my investigation. We are keeping an eye on vulnerable individuals who might suddenly seclude themselves and maybe vanish. Those who are likely to be put under undue stress or vulnerable to high amounts of stress are expressed concern. So.
Yeah.
Also, do you happen to have any hand sanitizer? Mostly because I have managed to get a large amount of maple bacon on my hands, you see.
I'll do you one better. And she'll, like, around her waist has one of the towelettes that you normally see I've worked in a restaurant, y'all. They have like the normal little rags they got, and like on the other hip is just hanging like a bottle of sanitizer. And she'll just go and just wipe your hands, like it's just
they just sparkle pure.
Yeah, she'll just spray it and then hand you the cloth that you can just and it's food safe, so it's fine if it gets everywhere.
Yeah, they fastidiously clean every finger. While maintaining conversation that's just happening in the background. Yes, if you could please, if you're in a position to pass on the details of maybe an acquaintance of theirs, or are they somebody who would have a legal guardian?
They're unfortunately loners. They live by themselves. I can at least give you an address. And Trevor, we'll say that you're starting to ping on this conversation.
Right.
Something, you being you, something kind of, the door opens and the breeze kind of wafts over you and it whispers in your ear. Something unintelligible, but something interesting. Something that's happened maybe to you a couple of times, but not too often. And you get the sense that you followed your stomach to the right place.
Trevor would also be the type of person who, when that happened, he would kind of like spin in his seat, but he would spin too fast and slightly stumble out of his chair, or like out of his booth at the counter. So he would spin, and then he would just like fall, and then like try to get up like nothing happened. He's like, I'm okay, fine, all good.
And we'll say about this time, Pan, you would probably be arriving, since I have the urgent care. I have the urgent care down here. Hey, look, and then there's Jace. You're good. You would probably be arriving, and Reese, you'd be right next door in the park. So either y'all can meet at the park, or in Jace, your decision.
I know Pan would walk straight in regardless,
Okay.
purely because she would step in through the threshold and just close her eyes and take a deep breath because she loves her food. She just forgets to actually eat half the time because of how busy she is.
I feel that.
And then she just sort of waits and looks around, and that's when she'll look for Reese, thinking maybe Reese is already in here.
I feel like this is one of those great Reese character moments where she sees Pan like walking across, and she'll like silently like raise a hand like a creepy Slender Man figure across the road, but I'm like slightly too close to the shadow of a tree or something, so I'm like invisible until directly looked at. So I'll just watch like Pan go into the diner, and then I'll just be like, oh, guess she didn't see me, and then I'll just
Is it the creep up behind moment?
Yeah,
Like...
and so Pan is like there like inhaling all of the scents of the diner, and I just like come in and like lurk like directly over her, and I'm like, hi Pan.
I don't know if Pan's used to it. I think she might be. Just look up. They go, hi Reese, and sort of look up, and then we'll take a step in. Probably have a quick scan around and look at everyone, not like to linger, but just to look, and then
Jay's back is to you. Jay's back is to you, and you probably notice her in the far booth. She's kind of hard to miss. She's a big woman.
Can I tell Jay's talking to someone?
Yeah,
or...
you don't even have to. She already knows you're there. She knew you're there. She could A, hear you, and B, smell you.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll kind of just lift up a hand and just kind of just telling you to Reese to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll just call out, Reese, did you bring that damn dog in again?
No, I brought Jazzy home first. The smell of pancakes makes her too excited.
That's fair. She crashed one of my tables last time trying to get to one. I love her. I do love that dog. And she'll kind of motion you guys over. Do you mind if I have some other compatriots possibly that could help in this situation?
The more the merrier. I look forward to meeting more people from this community.
Perfect. And she'll usher you guys over to the back booth.
Good morning. It is a pleasure to meet you both. I am Agent Emerald, and they offer a hand.
Pan, you probably have heard of some things. The pack has worked with organizations throughout the years, especially throughout the centuries, and the fact that they are one of the main forms of defense here. So they would have worked with some organizations over the years, and you would have definitely heard of Menagerie before. Reese, this is completely new to you. You have never heard of this before. You have no idea what's going on. All you see is a very interesting character with green hair.
I like your hair.
Thank you.
And we'll probably awkwardly slide in to the booth next to Agent Emerald, and be like, yes, hi. And how were you offering your hand?
I think it's an overhand. Yeah.
Yeah, she does that as like, oh, hi. So, I'm Pan, and you are very green in a very fabulous way.
Thank you. I find it emotionally fulfilling to stay true to an aesthetic.
Oh, me too. And she pulls up this hideous home knitted jumper.
And Trevor, you'll hear Jay say, "You might as well come over too, sensitive."
Well, Trevor's the type of person who, like, as they were all talking, he was slowly sliding like a seat closer every time, just because he could feel something was gonna happen.
Yep.
So as Jay says this, he was like in the middle of moving his stuff, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he picks up his skateboard, because the book bag never left his back. But he picks up his skateboard and he just picks up his bowl of fruit, and it is holding the skateboard under his arm as he's like sticking his fork in the fruit and eating. He's like, "Oh guys, I'm Trevor," and he's like still eating.
To clarify, also, Reese didn't get into the booth next to Jay. she's like in the booth behind them and is like, like facing, when the booths are like, and she's like facing towards them and just like lurking over everyone, but like in her own booth.
For expediency's sake, would the menagerie be cognizant or be able to tell anybody who's like a lycanthrope or?
Yes.
Right, yeah. Why, there are so many interesting people in one place here. I've never had the chance to examine your kind up close. Would I be allowed to look at your incisors? He leans in at, I think, Trevor. Their facial expression still relatively neutral, but their eyes sparkling.
Trevor would reach into his pocket and pull out a peppermint. Because that's the type of person he is. He's like, dude, you smell like bacon. And just like offers it out. Agent Emerald.
And they flick away a small crumb of bacon off the lapel of their trench coat. Yes, I did recently have breakfast. I apologize. They take, without breaking eye contact, take the peppermint out of your hand and eat it. Maybe further investigation can wait for another moment. But it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Agent Emerald.
I gather that from all the green, or like, something green themed. I like it. Your aesthetic is it's really evoking. I myself like green. And then he kind of pulls out the flannel a little bit. It's like, big fan.
Yes, that's more of a forest green, but I won't hold that against you. So, you're interested in our current investigation. I suppose, are you all familiar with the menagerie? You, and he glances up at Reese, you seem a little nonplussed.
I mean, I think this is just how I am. I don't really understand what's going on, but I don't understand anything ever, so...
I'll keep this relatively simple. We at the menagerie are research and indexing of supernatural fauna. Yes, fauna, not flora. Fauna from across the world. There is a specific field that I am currently investigating, but I have been requested to visit your local community to follow up on current research thesis that my team is working on. It requires the handling of sensitive people, so they figured somebody with a calming voice, thinking absolutely nothing of his incredibly uncalming demeanor, with someone of a calming voice would be appropriate for the circumstances at hand. They offer a very, very weak smile. I've been told, or at least Jay has told me that there may be a vulnerable individual that may actually fall into the category of the type of person I'm investigating. I wasn't expecting an entourage to accompany me in this endeavor, but you do know the area better than I, so...
I just got off a bus, dude. I came for food.
Who are you?
Oh, what's up? My name's Trevor Skipton, and I don't know. You ever had like one of those feelings like you just weren't where you should be, and you gotta find out where you're supposed to be, so you just go off until you feel like you're where you need to be? That's me right now. And she just called me a sensitive. I'm sorry, wait. And he looks at Jay and is like, is she okay? Like, I just want to make sure I'm not being a dick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I assume you're asking pronouns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is fine.
Okay.
Or just Jay.
All right. Jay just called me sensitive and told me to come over here, so I'm kind of here. I'm really enjoying this food, by the way, and he's kind of just like fiddling with the last of his fruit in the bowl, and he's still just like clutching it. But yeah. But again, just got off a bus, so.
Well, I could
fortuitous.
I could smell you as soon as you came in.
So, are we not having breakfast?
Pan, hold on.
I'm
And
just-
she'll go and she'll get up from out of the booth and she'll go over and she'll get let's see, what would you normally order here, Pan?
Probably a lot of stuff. I don't know, what would Jay have?
I'll probably just get you a simple stack at this point, just while we're talking.
Then she probably just take that.
And Reese, what would you normally eat here?
I like pancakes because they remind me of Pam, but I don't tell her that.
Oh, okay. Well, then
That's
she'll
adorable.
come back. She'll just come back with 2 plates with stacks on them, and go. So there might, shockingly, be something happening. Agent Emerald here was disclosing that they're on a kind of an investigation of sorts, tracking down disappearances. Seems vulnerable people. My cook.
You say disappearances, and at that point, Pan's got like a fork half in hers and passing a fork up to Reese. Is like, so, is she one of my people aren't here either? From the doctor's surgery.
See, I don't like that.
Well, I don't like it either. My coffee order got really messed up this morning.
I don't like it because people in my town seem to be going missing. And they're in my charge.
Was Pan the person who disappeared? Were they in a particularly emotional, vulnerable state?
Joe? I don't know. Joe seemed nice. Joe seemed a bit stressed, but then who isn't stressed?
I'm not really stressed. Again, just kind of got here.
Stress is usually detrimental to most mission parameters.
Well, she deals with a lot of files. She deals with a lot of stuff, and people going up and down every now and then. And
I love
yeah.
y'all so much. Just
I'm trying to keep a straight face. Sorry.
I can't. It's not in me. Continue. I'm so sorry to break up this RP. I'm just like,
this is my pancake RP.
this is what y'all tuned in to see. Werewolf on werewolf pancake RP.
Look, I told Kai this is gonna be the shaggiest character I can think of. So.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Shaggy too.
I know. Everybody
And then
wants
I
to be
morphed into
Shaggy.
someone else.
I'm like, what? Why Scooby-Doo? This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, y'all.
Scooby-Doo though.
Scooby-Doo,
There is a
though.
Scooby-Doo archetype for Monster of the Week, actually. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
something I actually almost did for that. But yeah, no, like she said that. Yeah, she disappeared. I was actually gonna check on her later, but normally now you mention it, she actually mentions or calls in when she's not gonna be in.
And she didn't call in.
No.
I see. I don't believe I'm being out of character. I'm being a bad investigator and not asking for the full names of these people. Can we just say that was given so I can write that down? So Jay's charge, what was their name?
I forgot. So we're gonna go
Everybody
with Mark.
forgot. I forgot
I
to
think you
ask.
just
So
said the cook, yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't think I gave them a name.
You
I've been
didn't
really
give them
good.
a name. It's just one of your cooks.
Markinson.
Mark. We'll go with
Love
Martin.
some
Martin.
Martin.
Martin didn't come in today. Joanna is, which Pan is referring to as Joe, works at the hospital. Was not in today.
I feel, just on a light hunch, that Martin's disappearance is of maybe greater concern. There are many reasons why somebody who works in a stressful hospital environment may need to take time out for themselves. However, unless you happen to be working your chefs especially hard, Jay, their disappearance seems rather unusual.
Not even remotely. I mean, it gets a little busy around lunchtime, but I'm.
That was also an attempt at humor.
Oh,
Hard to tell, I've been told. Sorry.
My mind's on other things. I apologize.
It's fine.
So I'll wind up and go, ah, ha ha. And
I
she'll try to
appreciate-
like laugh at it.
I'm still gonna say the other one was kind of suspicious. Just I'm sorry. And Trevor looks at Pan. He's like, "What's your name again?"
Pan.
Just Pan. If Pan says that you said Joe,
No. I'm Pan. My friend is Joe.
your friend Joe. Yeah, the person that didn't show up.
Yeah.
If they normally call, I don't know. I think that would be kind of weird if somebody just didn't show up to work and they normally call because it's outside of the regular patterns. But that's just me thinking out loud here. I don't know.
That is a firm, astute observation. I do believe we should investigate both, but I am personally choosing to investigate Martin first, if you would like to assist.
Trevor puts his bowl down. He's like, I'm in.
Reese is like leaning farther over the booth, like just following the nose, like sniffing because Pan has stopped feeding them. But also they're like now like fully like over the side, and they'll just like sketchily look up at everyone and be like, also, I don't know if this is tied to the disappearances, but usually these types of things tend to be tied together. But also when I was walking Drowsy today, I heard like whispering from the hills, which is unusual.
Trevor noticeably like takes a step back from you, and like the rest of the group, he kind of looks at you, and like he takes a step back and he looks and he's like, whispering. Okay. And then he looks at Agent Emerald and he's like, so they're not the only, and he kind of does the thing where it's like his thumb's sticking out like he's talking about the person even though they're right there. It's like they're not the only ones that heard whispering today, apparently. I thought it was just in my head. I thought I was just, being a little bit crazy. Maybe it was just the hunger talking. When the door opened and that little breeze came in, thought I heard something, but again, totally thought it was the hunger. By the way, Jay, you have some really great pancakes here. Just want to throw that out.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I tap Pan on the head and I say, breeze emoji.
And she pulls out a notebook and writes it down. And writes it down with this little drawing of a breeze emoji.
we're adding to the dictionary.
Yeah, we're just like
Gonna get all the Albed primers. Right. Yeah, I think that since this is a shared piece of information, this is interesting. I wonder if, and they start flicking through their notebook, I wonder if this is something that, as a professional who is researching this kind of thing, that there's a role that I might make to see if I know something about it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. We'll go sharp, investigate a mystery.
2d6 plus 1, sure.
Correct. And everybody, just to start, everybody does have an advantage. You can choose to use that whenever. That essentially adds a d6 to your roll, and you choose the two highest. That's how I've been approaching it. So if you would like to use it now, you could, but you can hold on to it throughout the game.
We'll wait until some things are a bit more dire than this. But yes, rolling sharp. 11.
11. Awesome. So you have, let's see.
I should probably pull my own rule book for Monster of the Week. I have a physical copy.
Well, rolling.
Fancy.
Ooh, yes. So essentially that means you succeed without any consequences.
There's usually specific questions I get to ask? Or...
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, that's sometimes with reading a bad situation. So let me pull up my... I forgot. That's actually questions you can ask me.
Yeah, I know, right?
I've been playing it
system.
really loose from the hip, y'all.
It's fine.
Okay.
Like, what is the tabletop RPG police going to show up to your door and tell you you've been playing it wrong?
Yeah, who cares? It's my game.
Then you just hear knocking.
Yeah. Shit. Mother truckers.
They would hate me.
It's page 102 if you're interested or reading along at home.
I would love to. Thank you.
Just so, because I have it here, the questions that it says that I can ask, but to be honest, if you want me to ask whatever, then I'll ask whatever. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? Which is what I'll be asking. What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here? Okay. On a turn plus I hold 2. So I'm going to straight up ask now, what sort of creature is it?
Okay. So you have heard of whispers, and usually the whispers and the calling, it starts to kind of ping to your head a little bit as a type of, let me open my bestiary that I've been making, crocata. Crocata are...
That's delicious.
Crocata. That's ricotta, but that's fine.
Either way.
Both good.
Sounds like a ricotta croquette,
Both
okay?
Absolutely
I was
fantastic.
going to say the croquettes as well.
Croquettes. So you've the whispers and Reese, they'll start to talk about the whisper sounding vaguely familiar. Of a crocata is a long-living scavenger. They are on the fringe. They could be anything or anyone, and they lure people out using the voices of things or people that they know and are connected to. So you don't know what their true form is. You do not know what they look like.
Cool.
And they consume the souls of their victims.
Pleasant.
Yeah, I think Agent Emerald flicks through their notebook, finds a particular page and kind of relays that information back to all of you. And there's a pause before. It seems that the people that they lure in have their souls consumed. And you said that they've been speaking to you recently, Reese, Trevor.
Mainly when I got into town and the door opened. Again, came in, was on a bus, got off the bus, didn't hear anything when I got off the bus. Came into the diner, watched you like a plate clean as I ate my fruit. Door opened again, heard weird whispering.
I guess for Pan and Reese, the information that this very well put together man just apparently licked a plate clean is probably an interesting piece of info. You've only just arrived and you've been caught up in so much, Trevor. It seems that it's not only just me and Jay and I that have noticed an interesting potential in you. Well then, shall we go and do a little fact finding? Let's see how far Mr. Skipton can go.
Well, the last name's not just for show. Jay, can I get some fruit to go, though? I'm still kind of hungry.
And she'll look at you and go, 20 minutes in town's already asking for things. And she'll get up and she'll go and get a to-go box of fruit for you. And she will take a couple of pancakes and she'll like roll them. And she will kind of like roll them and like tie them with bacon and give them to Reese to snack on as they leave, knowing full well. Yep. So there's like maple bacon tied. I don't know if I just invented something. Trademark me. Get you some stringy bacon. Roll up some pancakes. Put like a little line of like maple syrup in it. Roll it up. Tie it with some bacon and then eat it like a burrito.
You're killing me.
There you go.
Trevor wants to kind of like side whisper in the most audible way after seeing that to Agent Emerald. Is like, do you want some of those too?
I have already consumed my maple bacon, but thank you.
They're in my pocket if you need one. Just let me know. They're a little squished, but they're still good.
And Jay will hand Agent Emerald the address of Martin's establishment to have on hand. She will remain in the diner for today. She'll tell Pan, let me know if you need anything. I hope y'all can take care of this. Let me know if you find him. I hope he's all right. And call me if you need me, but I gotta hang out here. Good luck.
Absolutely. You have a responsibility to your community to be available. Have a delightful day. Agent Emerald gets up and surreptitiously messages something on their smartphone. I left you a good Yelp review. And they walk quite briskly out the front door.
Appreciate it. Agnes will wave. Jeff will kind of be like, later, man. Hey,
I'll see you around. I'll be back for more food.
all right, man. I'll see you. Hey, I'll bring my skateboard in next time.
Yes.
All right. Yeah,
Yes.
toast. All right. Bye, dude. I feel like that's me on the weekends. And y'all usher out. What would you like to do next? Would you like to head to Martin's establishment, or is there something else you'd like to do? Yes, Miss Reese.
Real quick, before we left, I feel like just from the description of Jeff's character that Reese might have a crush on him that they don't understand. So like while Jeff was like talking to Trevor and like saying bye, like Reese would have just like creepy lurked up right behind Jeff and kind of like just lurked there and maybe like smelled his hair a little bit and then like drifted out the door.
Say, if I would have seen that, I probably would have walked over like, come on, start walking.
How tall is Reese?
Hi, Jeff.
They're tall. Reese is 6 foot, 6'1".
You know what? From the description, like I originally said 6 feet, but I feel like from the descriptions of her,
They sound like they're 6'6",
like
yo.
6'4". Yeah, probably 6'4".
So, okay, because I was gonna say Trevor's like 6'6'1".
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why the looming thing, because
Yeah.
Pan is 5'3", 5'4", so it's a real contrast.
I'm really enjoying it.
I am a
Height is
6'4" in real life, so the kind of like relative ratios of height. I don't know. Do I loom? I'm now really self-conscious about it.
I'm 5'3" in real life, so it's okay.
My husband is
5'5",
6'6",
so.
and he looms.
Okay.
Yep.
I baby loom then. That's fine.
Yes.
I don't know if we've given like character descriptions, but Reese is basically Asian Slender Man is how I describe them. Like Asian female, the grudge Slender Man. So just always like really hunched over. And I usually have very good posture, but like Reese is always like hunched over. So I'm like this. So, yeah, that's Reese. So that's what they would have done. And then like been led away by Pan, and then would nibble on pocket pancakes while waiting for Pan to direct them to do something.
And as you did that, Jeff would have been like, is that the wind? As you took a sniff.
And I'd be like, I know what that is now. So I walk out with my notebook.
Wonderful. As the crisp morning air hits you, the day is yours. Where are we going, troop? Yes.
the moment
Trevor.
he is outside, he is on the skateboard.
Perfect.
The moment he is out of the diner,
do you
skateboard
do
goes
an
on the
ollie
ground.
off the curb?
No, he's kind of just standing on the skateboard and like waiting to see where the rest of the group goes, and he looks over at Agent Emerald and he's like, "This one's on you, dude." And then he reaches into his pocket and he has a flip phone, and then he has like a standard smartphone, and he looks at the two and puts the standard smartphone back into his pocket and looks at the flip phone and just starts like tapping away on it.
Not aiming to be untraceable. That's an adorable effort. So Emerald like walks back to their car. Having a car is like a specific ability that professionals can have that I didn't take, in that you can have a car that's suitable for like monster hunting and you get positive and negative attacks with it. This is just an ordinary car. It has nothing special about it, if that's cool. So just so we don't have to physically walk everywhere, because
That's fine. I am very excited to see how 3 over 6 foot people are going to fit into an ordinary sized car. I'm very excited to see this.
So tall people can fit into cars, so I hear. I mostly take public transport, so this is like legendary. The dream of owning a car only in tabletop RPGs. But yes, I enjoy the imagery of this being like a literal clown car. Like the car is pretty ordinary sized, and we just fold out of this thing. That's very good. I love that imagery.
Trevor doesn't get in the car.
Smart car.
Trevor doesn't get in the car?
Trevor doesn't get in the car. He's like, wait, hold on.
Do you sketch the car?
In the back.
No, he looks at everybody and he's like, okay, so you're, and he looks at Reese. He's like, all right, so like you're tall, and he looks at Pit. He's like, okay, so you're short. And he looks at Agent Emerald. He's like, all right, you're tall too.
Average. She puts like her hands on her waist.
He's like, all right, cool. And then for the first time, you see him take the bag off of his back, and he opens it, and he's kind of like rummaging around. He's like, I know Mom told me to put this in here. I don't know where she's like, and he reaches in, and it's a little harness, like a waist harness that has a rope attached to it and a hook.
Oh no.
And he's just going to clip it to the bumper of the car and be on the skateboard and be like, all right, I'm good.
So you also
I feel like I want to
Snow
make you
Crash.
roll for something.
It's good I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
I can clean him up afterwards. Some people only learn from their mistakes.
I feel like
If you want to make me roll for this, fine. Totally
that,
here
Reese?
for it.
What was that, Reese?
I was just gonna say that I feel like Reese has like squeezed themselves into the back of this tiny car and is like now looking out the window watching Trevor set this up and just being like, "And we might need your help in a couple blocks."
Yep.
On it.
Um,
I sit perfectly in the seat, by the way. Like, this is comfy.
I'm gonna make this a I'm gonna make this a thing. We're gonna call it a cool roll.
Good.
Because we're gonna see if you can keep your cool on the board while you're getting pulled like 25, 30 miles per hour.
That's a 10.
A 10. Okay.
Nice.
You're successful. I'm a little disappointed. I should have made you roll with disadvantage or something, but I don't know how to do that. So let's see. So Martin's apartment is about a 10-minute drive away. It's on the outskirts of town. Closer to the woods. So let's take my map. So they're like there we go. They are I lost where I was. They are like down this way into this section of town. So you're moving away from Jay's Diner. I'm super like high tech, y'all.
No, it looks good.
I feel like this is gonna have additions folded out by the end of this
No, I've
season.
already started. It's pretty bad. I'm probably gonna end up redrawing it at some point and stealing somebody else's map and being like, this person draws maps for a living. Go look at them. And I stole it.
Yeah, that might be a super useful thing to scan and put in Roll20 for future games and stuff like that. But
I'm working on it.
we'll get there. We'll get there.
I can
Life is hard.
digitize it if you need.
Perfect. So you're driving out to the edge of town. It's about a 10-minute drive, especially since the speed limits are a little bit lower here. As you're driving out of town, and you arrive at a modest-looking apartment building. It's about 4 stories, brown brick. Nothing shabby about it. Nothing super nice about it. It's just people live here. You don't have to buzz into the lobby. You can just head on in and up the elevator. It's a small town. Not that much crime here. Just a lot of supernatural things. Their apartment, Martin's apartment, is on the second floor. So you head up to the second floor. It's apartment 213. So it's going to be down the hall and on the right. Once you get down to the apartment, you notice that the door is open. Doesn't look like it's been broken into. It's just open.
Agent Emerald stiffens and pauses in the hallway, and their hand immediately goes inside their trench coat. And I guess whoever is in line of sight sees that they pull out the butt of a revolver. You can see that quite cleanly.
All right. And so what's the marching order here? You're going in first with your weapon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then who's behind Agent Emerald?
I feel like I would try and be next and sort of like block Pan from doors that are suspicious.
Okay.
Very, very
She
aware
seems
of
to have a
Pan's
thing with
awkward
doors.
door thing.
Okay.
And I'm sort of
Yeah.
like, I'd probably be behind Reese then, but like looking like maybe
Pan,
underneath Reese's
don't cut yourself on the door again.
I won't,
And
I won't. And she's
Trevor, are you bringing up the rear?
Trevor is going to like lower the bag off of his shoulder and reach into a side pocket and pull out nunchucks and then like walk away, like walk at the rear, but kind of like looking behind him as they're entering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is Trevor holding the nunchucks like properly in
Or
any
is
way?
it, like,
shape, or
not at
form,
all.
Or is it like by the chain?
Not at all. Like he's holding them like he's holding it like the chains on his forearm and are like behind his back, and it looks cool, but you can tell he has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, you'll see Pan move away from you a little bit, just off to the side, thinking maybe it would have been safer to be in front of Reese.
Okay, so Agent, my gosh, I love you all. Agent Emerald, you walk in, and you don't really see any signs of distress. You don't see, nothing's been knocked over. All you see is the door is ajar, wasn't broken into. It seems to be open from the inside, and the window in the bedroom is open as you see the breeze kind of wafting the curtains over. Bed looks like it was slept in, and that there's nobody in the apartment.
This is concerning. Let's see if we can find anything useful in terms of maybe their last actions. Emerald puts the gun away and pulls out 2 white gloves and begins to inspect the bedroom, checking the wardrobe to see if there are any clothes missing, if there's a space of like a hold-all bag that had been kind of like taken and then there's an obvious gap, bits and pieces like that. Checks the bathroom to see if like the shower is still wet, because that might take a while to dry if they left recently, that kind of thing.
Okay. So there is a bag, but it still remains in the closet unused. There are no clothes seemingly missing. They are, let's see, there's a robe. No, there's not a robe. So you can see next to the bed that there's like a little outline where normally slippers would go, and there are no slippers there. And from what you can attain, whoever lives here still lives here. They just currently aren't here. The window is open. If you look out the window, you see into a wooded area. It's got a nice view out there, and the door is open. And that's everything else seems to be in its place, as if just somebody stood up, walked out. And Trevor, you're standing outside, and with your nunchucks, you're kind of just looking around. And as you turn, your shoelace gets caught around your foot a little bit, and you eat it. And as you're lying on your back, you look up and you notice that there is a security camera at the end of the hallway that's pointing down the entire hallway.
As I'm lying on my back, kind of like turtled because, backpack. He's gonna go, yo, Agent Emerald, you might want to see this.
Have you found something in? Why are you lying on the floor?
I fell, it happens. And he kind of like points over to the security camera and he's like, if you want to know what's going on, who better to ask than something that can't lie?
There's a very interesting proposition. Also, I noticed that the window was open. Reese,
Reese is
said-
in the middle of like picking up Trevor by the armpits and like
they just slide into
Yeah.
frame and pick up Trevor. You said that you could hear something on the wind. That might have been our crocotta. Would you mind standing near the window and seeing if you can hear anything? While Trevor and I, or Pan, are you especially good with computers?
In
Reese
what
chuckled.
sense? Look, I stay away from the whole like Facebook thing and everything like that. I know how to Google stuff. So if you need that, I can do that.
See. Trevor,
Yes.
technology.
Good with computers.
Oh, that'd be
Hold on. And he puts his nunchucks in Reese's hand and he's like, just in case.
Let's see if we can find. That's more threatening, actually. Jeez. Okay, let's see if we can find where this camera leads. I wonder if this building has a super or something similar.
Okay. Let's see. I wish there was more rolls. I keep wanting to say roll for spot hidden because I'm a big Call of
there's
Cthulhu
like
fan.
They're sharp.
Yeah.
There's
investigate.
well, reading a bad situation is maybe not quite the thing.
Yeah, not quite.
Investigating a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, technically, you do still have you're holding one.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's in direct relation to
Right.
I guess
I'll make it simple.
theoretically, if I use this now, that would force the crocotta information to be true in the scenario, which that sounds fun. So let's do that. What is being concealed here in regards to the crocotta?
Okay. The crocotta, as you know, can appear as anyone.
But there might be something that could make it shed its disguise, maybe.
Yes, it could appear as anyone. So you asked me what is being concealed here. Is that what you said? You'll notice, you'll recall that Jay had talked about how Martin was a loner and that they were unfortunately alone. And you do notice there is a picture by their bedside table that depicts a young man in his like late 20s, and what you
and the description of Martin as a
and the
different
description
person.
of Martin with them, with their heads touching, and you get the sense that this might have been either a partner of Martin's from long ago, or that they are no longer either with us physically or with him in a relationship.
Neat. Trevor, do you want to have the scene where we go and investigate the camera and maybe chat, or do we want to let Pan and Reese like listen to all the colors of the wind?
I'm cool with whatever you want to do.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be selfish. Let's go investigate the camera.
Okay.
All right.
So you recall coming in that there was a lobby, and there is a directory of people in the building, that you could go down and you would be able to find the super's room number. They live in the building. Knocking on the door. If you bring somebody of the pack, you probably would be in a better position to get information.
That's most likely true, but hey, they are busy listening for Ghost. On the way to the superstore, Emerald kind of like turns to Trevor. Trevor, I have maybe an interesting question.
I may have an interesting answer depending on what you ask, but I can't read minds. So what
I
is
hope
it?
so. If you were to hear the voice of somebody that you've not seen in years and you desperately wanted to see again, what would you do? As if they were calling your name from behind you.
First response? And Trevor, like, you see him get uncharacteristically serious for a moment. Like, he grabs his chin and he's like he's thinking back on a memory that he has that he just doesn't want to talk about immediately. I would definitely turn and answer.
Hmm.
And that rush of emotions, I probably wouldn't think about how logical the situation would be. Like, why are they here, etc., etc. Like, first instinct would just be OMG shock factor,
Hmm. Hmm.
wanting to see that person.
That's an interesting insight. Thank you. And
No
that was
problem.
the end of the conversation that Emerald at the time offers as they then go and knock on the super's door.
Gotcha. And for the sake of expediency, we'll probably say that you were able to get there and kind of name drop Jay, that you were asked to come and check in on Martin, and that he didn't show up for work today, and that you're just checking in on them, and asking about the cameras, and they do lead you in, and pull up the cameras, and you do see from last night, Martin leaving his apartment, looking both ways, turning his head as if they're hearing something from afar, and going downstairs. The super then pulls up the outer camera and sees Martin running towards the woods. And that's where we're gonna go on break for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Everybody in the
mystery.
chat, get some water, take a breather,
Stay
Hydrate or
hydrated,
dihydrate.
kids.
hydrate or
Hydrate or
hydrate.
dihydrate.
Great.
And Alice will be back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. So everyone go get a drink and stretch. Tell your pets you love them. We'll be back in a minute.
Jenna.
Bye.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
We left off with our Scooby gang. Our Scooby gang. Seeing some footage of the CCTV or the cameras in the apartment building, showing one Martin in their PJs, walking briskly out the front door, as if being pulled from somebody calling to them to the woods, and that is where we left off.
So,
Well, concerning. Let's go and report this back to the others immediately, shall we?
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you in a second.
An unorthodox approach, but I have no reason to decline. I will see you later. Stay safe.
I'll be okay. Crap, Reese has my nutshell. I will be okay.
You hear the sound of high heels receding into the distance.
And Trevor walks towards the front door and gets on his skateboard and starts skating up and down the block. Kind of just he feels this nagging feeling in the back of his mind. It's like tugging at him. He's like, and he's just thinking, he's like, where are you? Where are you, Mark? And he's trying to get a sense of like the creature he described. He's just trying to get a sense of like where it is in his mind in comparison to this to the apartment building, because he's thinking like it's close.
Okay.
But how close?
Got it. So you're attempting to tune in.
Yes.
Using your sensitive ability. All right. So I want you to roll plus weird. You do have the choice to roll with advantage if you feel you would like to use that in this time.
I definitely want to roll with advantage.
Okay. So roll 3d6 and take the two highest.
Okay,
And add your weird modifier.
that is, oh god, math. That is a 9.
Okay. So that is a mixed success. So you do succeed, but there is a consequence. So all right. So you're tuning in. So you get to essentially ask me. Let's see. Bear with me, kids. Fuck it, I'm just gonna do it my own way. All right. So you center yourself, you try to calm yourself, and you try to reach out with your mind, as you've been learning to do, to try and find and link your mind to whatever entity is out there roaming that might have pulled Martin in. And it becomes cold. And it's almost like you're looking in a mirror as these faces rush before you of all of these different beings, and it's almost blurry in that you can't really see their features. And it's almost like you're seeing this mist ahead of you as it guides you out and into the forest, and the forest rushes by you. And you see the trees outside of the apartment as it rushes to the right. And you see a path that's almost hidden, that you see some of the branches have been broken, the leaves break down. And you notice off in the distance there is a conglomeration of like rocks. And through this broken path, you see a small opening. And as you get to the opening, the smell fills your nostrils of this dead flesh, of this putrid and just bad, damp, feces smell hits you.
Trevor wrenches a bit.
Yeah. And
that's rank.
And you go to almost see into the cavern to almost get to where it is, and your vision goes dark.
Okay. And then I'm like back centered on my board.
You are.
Trevor is going to. You said Martin's apartment was on the second floor?
Yes.
Trevor's gonna walk to the curb, and I'm gonna walk to the curb and pick up a couple of pebbles.
Okay.
And walk around the building until he sees where Martin's window would be, and start chucking pebbles at it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I have a perfect segue. If we can just do a little shit because during this whole time they were like, "Yo, Reese, go stand by the window and listen to the colors of the wind or whatever." So Reese is holding the nunchucks in her hand by the chain like this, standing by the window, and just sort of staring outside and nibbling on pocket pancakes. And then eventually it's just okay, this is taking them a really long time. So she would have opened the window and then draped the nunchucks around her neck and then really impressively with one hand rolled a joint and just started smoking it so that she could stay by the window, not stink up the apartment, but also listen to the wind. And also she thinks that getting high will help her hear the wind better, because that makes sense. So I'm assuming that when the rocks start flying in the window, one of them probably just hits her, is what I want to happen. And then she'll just be like, "Oh, Pan, oh, hello."
She sort of goes, "What?" and sticks her head out of the window underneath you to have a look at what you're looking at.
To a wonderful smell.
Yes.
Down.
Oh,
Trevor,
weren't you supposed to be checking the cameras?
you hit me with a
Yeah.
rock.
I was
You
Sorry.
don't throw rocks at people. It's
I didn't know she was there.
look where you're
okay.
throwing.
I shouldn't be throwing rocks at all. How about that? But anyway, has Agent Emerald gotten back yet? If so or not, I need you all to come down here, please and thank you.
I hear Trevor yelling from downstairs for some reason. Agent Emerald
Head.
just tweens into the background in the window.
Look, as long as you don't ask too many questions, I know where we need to go. Can you come downstairs?
You realize by saying that he's gonna ask more questions.
Just don't even worry about it. Let's just come downstairs.
You see Agent Emerald now moving in the scene behind Trevor during that period of time. They've just left the building and they've kind of moved back in. Yes, Trevor, they've moved into a new destination.
I don't know how I didn't hear the heels on the grass, but okay. Where are the other two? He's kind of looking back and forth between.
I'm just waving up
You too.
Reese, you should probably.
Reese
you know
is
how I
lurk
feel
lighting
about
up.
this.
Oh,
Come on.
Reese. Sorry, I was just gonna say Reese is already gone, and she's lurk gliding out of the building after Agent Emerald, and Pan's just the last.
Pan
one
is
there.
yeah, I know. Look, we're. God damn it! Start moving out of the house downstairs.
Do close the door.
I'm not great with doors, so I'm gonna say no. Do
Okay.
I walk into it? I'm not sure.
Martin's door remains open. And so you all you all meet out on the front of the back of the building. I have to remember where my orientations are. The back of the building, to closest to the forest. And there you stand. What do you do now? Trevor?
Trevor sticks out his hand for his nunchucks.
Here.
Thank you. And he grabs them and he holds them again and he's like, "All right, follow me." And he starts walking along the path that he saw as he was rushing out of his mind's eye through the forest.
Agent Emerald had fished the key, the car keys out of his coat, and then very quietly sighs and put the keys back in the trench coat, and starts to follow Trevor on foot.
All right.
Reese is lurk gliding after Trevor, just literally above him. Kind of no face that. I watched Spirited Away last week again.
Oh
and
my
I think,
God,
I think Reese is also no face.
I love that film, so I approve.
I've never seen it. I'll add it to my list.
Studio Ghibli makes great movies.
I'm terrible at anime. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, that's okay. Off we go.
All right. So at this point, it's about midday. We're nearing closer to noon. So the sun is high in the sky as you enter into this dense forested area that surrounds the apartment building. You can tell that there are definitely paths that have been normally carved into this. You know, as I said earlier, this is a very beautiful landscape. A lot of people do like to explore, and the weather is quite nice. And as you're following Trevor, I assume you're following the path from your vision.
Yes.
So you're heading down what is a well-trodden path, and then you start to veer off towards the right. And it's a path in that it has been traversed, but not in the sense that many have traveled it. You start to see that it's just been worn a little bit, like somebody has walked back and forth a few times. You start to see the broken branches that you saw through your vision. You're walking for a good 15 to 20 minutes into the woods before you start to see that collection of stones in the distance that mark the entrance to your vision.
And as he's like walking this path, he's like thinking to himself. He's like, "All right, okay, this is familiar." And he just sticks his arm out. He's like, "Wait, stop!" And then he kneels down and reaches into the side pocket of his bag. And you'll notice that the side pocket of the bag has like yellow police tape on it. That it's like, don't enter this unless it's an emergency. And he puts the nunchucks in his bag, and like not directly in his bag, but you know how like book bags have the handle on the top. Puts the nunchucks there, and he pulls out a small pistol and like tucks it into his belt loop.
Okay.
Pan sort of pauses just 1 second and looks at the pistol. Can you use this as well as you can use nunchucks, or is this
That's not the right place to put that.
Trevor just goes, don't ask questions.
I'm asking a question as like Pan with a tiny bit of her history is like, do you know how to fire one of those? And do you know how to not keep it like that?
Yes, but we're kind of pressed.
For
Relax, Doc. Relax.
It's
fine.
You don't understand. I'm always relaxed. However, the way you're holding that, the way that is in your belt, I don't want to have to be sorting that out after it accidentally goes off.
And that's why you're walking behind me.
I'm walking behind you because I don't want to get shot with it.
See, Trevor knows this, but like you all don't know that the magazine for it's in the other side of the book bag and it's not actually loaded yet.
You didn't put one round in the chamber and then explode the magazine?
It's completely empty, but he just has it for now.
Okay. As you stand outside this collection of rocks, Pan, you hear coming from inside the cavern a familiar voice as Joanne calls out to you, asking for help.
And there's a moment I think she'll stop exactly where she is. And she starts mumbling to herself, like, no, that's not good. But if it is Joanne, it's not, because her instincts start... It's almost like conflicting instincts. The logic in her head, but also her past occupation is kicking in. And she's like... And she pauses for a moment, looks forward at the group, and then just yells, Joanne, is that you? Like yelling it towards.
And you all would have also heard this voice. It's not one that appears only in her mind. It's one that echoes out of the cavern. I forgot to emphasize that. I'm like,
I was about to say.
It'll be like
it is a voice that you do hear coming from the direction of the opening of these group of rocks.
I'm gonna warn you all. In my mind, it really stank down there. So I'm pretty sure it actually stinks down there. Just so you know. And then he's gonna kind of like slink to the back of the group while rummaging in his bag.
And did you bring the Purell?
Ah.
We need to kill 99.9% of the germs in there.
She holds up this bag and it rattles loudly.
All right.
Why are you carrying so much sanitizer?
And starts squeezing it onto Reese's hands. She just said it kills 99.9% of bacteria.
Every week, y'all. Every week.
Emerald nods slowly. I'm wondering if you're being facetious or not. You're carrying way more than would be sensible.
You're carrying way more than would be sensible.
And Pan is deadpan, like blank. She doesn't.
He's carrying it. He's carrying a very odd-looking revolver, so that's not a lie, Reese. But,
I was gonna say, aren't you carrying a gun?
Mm-hmm.
In the background, you just hear a small click.
Unlike Trevor, I do have the mastery of basic trigger discipline. Also, you might know that the menagerie has a strict capture-only policy. I do not intend to kill any targets inside.
Are there any fruit or anything hanging from this tree? Any of the trees or anything?
Sure isn't. There, you are in a pine wood forest. These are.
Love to eat pine cones.
Trevor
Yes.
wants to walk. Trevor wants to pick up a stick or like something. He wants to just like jam it in a tree real quick,
Okay.
and then walk back to the rest of the group. Hold the gun up and just fire 3 shots off.
Okay. I am gonna make you roll for this.
Okay.
It's technically a kick some ass roll.
Okay.
So.
Actually, yeah, I can. They're in a pine forest. Trevor wants to shoot down a pine cone.
Okay. shoot down a pine cone. Go ahead and roll to kick some ass to see if you hit.
Okay, that is a 7.
That passes with a
What?
consequence. You do hit a pine cone. And after hitting the pine cone, you accidentally eject the chamber. So you looked cool for about 2 seconds, and then all of your ammo falls out the bottom of your gun.
Not again. Look, at least I told you I know how to shoot the thing. And then he just starts going down, like picking up the bullets and putting them back
After
in the
shooting
mag.
this pine cone, you start to see something darting around the trees. It almost doesn't have color, and at times almost doesn't even seem to have form. You can see it as this kind of blurred crystalline creature just going whoop, Mike, as it's darting between these trees. And you get the sense that perhaps you might have just alerted something that was in that cave. Was shooting a pine cone.
Reese is going to take a big step towards Pan, wherever Pan is standing, and
Okay.
just start like, at first it looks like she's just like whipping her head around to like look at the thing darting in the trees, but then she starts like shaking her head like a lot, and kind of like her whole body starts to shake and like fill out into this massive like 5 foot wide, 5 foot tall, like furry ball of a werewolf.
Okay.
That just looks like super happy. She's like, you can look up Alice in Wonderland, the Bandersnatch, if you want to see what she looks like. But she's just like, and just like looking around all crazy and like probably running in circles around Pan a little bit as she's looking for the thing.
Pan is very just calm, very used to just looking up into the trees, looking to see wherever that thing went. But it's almost like you can tell used to Reese's transformation and reactions.
Can I smell anything as a werewolf also is my next question.
Sure. Yeah. So you're a little a ways off from the, not like horrible ways off. I would say you're about 40 to 50 feet away from the stones, and so you wouldn't be as close to it. But once you get into your wolf form, the scent instantly hits you. The scent of ripped flesh. You know that whatever is in there is not great. There's decay. There's the heavy smell of blood. And your ears start to pick up the quick movements through the trees as the entity that Agent Emerald has been calling the Krokoda comes through and slashes at the person who shot, slashes at you, Trevor, and you take 1 harm. And standing before you in the middle of this is this ever shifting blur of things, and you start to see that these faces just keep going through it as almost like merging memories. It's just overlay, and it never takes a single form. It gets tall and it gets short and it gets large and it gets small as it just is ever shifting in front of you. But what you do see as it opens its mouth are these long, sharp, jagged teeth and these very long protruding fingers with very razor sharp nails at the end of them. What do you do?
Trevor is less concerned about the fact that he was just slashed at by a thing as he's reloading his gun, and more about and kind of like looking at where Reese was standing and just seeing this wolf. And he just looks at Reese and like, or well, at least the wolf that was there when Reese was standing, and is like, nice. He's so nonchalant about the situation as he finishes reloading his gun. And then he's like, all right, something's gotta give. And then he looks at Pan, he's like, Doc, what do we do?
I think if I've seen this creature sort of transform in front of Trevor, I think Pan's actually gonna make a run, because she wants to make sure, because knowing it can change faces, she wants to make sure she's got it before it moves again. So I think she's gonna run, but transform as she runs and try and jump onto him, pin it to the ground.
Perfect. Roll to kick some ass. It's like my favorite roll to call for. Roll to kick some ass.
No, roll for pool. I like roll for pool.
Or that's true. Or roll for weird, I guess would be fun. All right. Monster of the Week is just absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? Is it tough? I can never remember.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you trying to pin it, or are you trying to do a precision strike?
Probably precision more than anything else. Because
then you would roll with your sharp, I believe is what we worked out.
I can do that.
Yeah. Because she is wicked smart.
I'm teeny
and she knows
tiny.
exactly what it is to strike. What'd you get?
I got a 10.
A 10, perfect. That is a success with no consequences. So you dive towards this entity, pinning it to the ground and slashing at what you would discern is one of its arteries. And I believe are you slashing or are you biting?
She is slashing. Pan's a much, much smaller werewolf than Reese. If anything, the best way to describe it is lanky.
Okay.
It's very springy in the step more than anything. It's sort of very shaggy, light brown fur, but there's a white streak that runs probably from the top back of her neck all the way down her chest and all the way down her back, where like when something gets damaged and the fur grows back, completely white. And she's got a fairly long muzzle, but as she jumps, it's more that the claws are a lot more protruding, and she knows anatomy. It goes in at different points. She hasn't got strength, but she knows where bones break and things like that.
Perfect. And what did we discuss was your success harm on the precision strike?
My success harm was, hang on, where is it?
was
Sorry,
3,
I'm in a
wasn't it?
different house. I think it was 3.
Yeah,
I feel like it
we'll
was
go with
3.
Okay, so you
Yes. 3 harm.
it is extremely, it's quite the sight to see, to watch the smaller than average wolf, because you just saw Reese wolf out, and Reese is large and powerful and dangerous yet adorable. And suddenly you watch Pan wolf out, and their form is just so much smaller. And so when they jump and they take down this entity, rolling across it, you see it just almost like raking in just very specific areas and tumbling over as this thing stands bleeding heavily, this gray ichor. It didn't like that very much. And were you wanting to pin it to the ground as well, or just damage it and get it on its back?
She's trying to pin it so
Okay.
that it can't get up, change face and whatever. So she's sort of using her claws to...
Perfect. So you're on the ground and you're digging your claws into these very vital areas as it's just it's screaming at you. So that is Pan. Who would like to go next?
Yeah. Okay.
You go.
Mm. Upon watching Reese and Pan transform, Agent Emerald gets sparkly eyes again. It's like, they're so cute. Just kind of like, the transformation is so adorable. And then Pan claws into the target, and he's like, no, you're damaging it.
She'll snarl back at you in like this little... It's not out of anger, it's almost... She can't say anything.
As you look at Emerald to like return the snarl, you see that he's got the gun leveled at you, and there's like, what? As she says, you're harming it. And then he angles it down slightly and says, deploying glue shot. And there is a click in the revolver, and it fires a large glob of some kind of like sticky binding substance to try and pin an arm or a leg down. Because the menagerie is a very specific capture alive policy, I don't know how to square the circle on these guns, dealing harm but not dealing harm. Whether that's if I deal the final blow, it doesn't kill it but snares it instead. However you want to kind of play ball.
Yeah, we'll do that. If you deal the final blow, we'll call it captured. If somebody else deals the final blow, we'll call it dead.
And we'll see how Emerald handles
and
that.
We'll see how it goes. See how it goes. So roll to kick some ass, please.
Yes, this is very specifically the thing that Emerald is bad at, so I'm going to spend my advantage.
Perfect.
So slash R 3d6 keep 2 -1. Let's see if I did the math on that.
They know the code. That's awesome.
5. Yeah, bad.
So that's a failure. Go ahead and mark experience on your page. So so you, oh man. All right. So you go to fire this glue gun of sorts.
He jams a specific glue bullet in the revolver and fires.
Correct.
That's why the gun is weird.
Yeah, and it misfires and fires back, covering you in glue. And we will say you do take you'll take 1 harm from the blowback.
Is
that mitigated by my armor, or is it self-inflicted? It just happens.
We'll just say it happens.
Sure.
Normally, it got into a place that your armor isn't covering.
Yeah, no, I get glued.
You're glued, and it will take you a little bit to scrape that off before you can load another bullet. Reese, I believe you wanted to go next.
Yeah. So seeing Pan shift and take off after the big bad, Reese in their wolfy form thinks that Pan wants to play. So they're like, and like go crazy. And then you just see like all of their fur now like stand up straight, and I'm going to be berserk as I just go crazy. And I'm just like, And I like bowl into Pan and the thing and try and like chomp the head of the thing or whatever I can most discern is the head.
All right, you know what to do.
I roll to kick some ass.
I'm gonna whip somebody's ass.
Okay, not bad for the first roll of the game. 7 + 1 is 8.
Okay, that is a mixed success. So you are going to be able to deal harm, but you will probably take some harm yourself. So you are slashing. No matter how much harm you take, you can always keep going. You're still going to take harm, but you're just going to be really pissed about it.
Yeah, I take the harm and I'm just like.
So are you slashing out with your bite or with your claws?
It was with my bite.
Okay, so you deal 3 harm to the creature. And in doing so, you slide across it and its teeth kind of rake across your throat a little bit as you try to latch onto its shoulder. And we'll say that you take, I have my stats. Don't worry, guys. I can do this.
Sound.
I'm totally good at this. You take 2 harm.
That's canon.
If you want to, there we go. I got you. As it whips around, still being held down by Pan, it just catches your shoulder a little bit with its bite, dealing you 2 harm. But you did do damage to it as it screeches at you. It was almost like a cacophony of 100 different voices screaming all out at once. It's an intense sound. As we move down to Trevor, what are you doing?
I've been looking over at my character sheet. I want to run up and I see that it kind of like got Reese a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm kind of like, man, I should have stayed at the diner. They kind of run up.
Okay.
I want to drive my knee into this thing's neck to like get it to kind of like let Reese go.
Okay.
But like I'm kind of like, what could possibly go wrong with this?
So are you trying to use your let's get out of here?
No.
Oh.
What could go wrong?
The
When you
what
charge
can
into
go
immediate
wrong.
danger without hedging your bets.
Got it.
Hold 2.
Hold 2. You may spend your hold to inflict harm, reduce someone's harm suffered by 1, take +2 forward on an act under pressure. Okay. So to trigger that, I think you automatically succeed. You hold 2.
Okay.
Yeah, says whenever you charge into danger, we're still learning, kids. I'm so sorry. Whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets, hold 2. You may spend your hold to either inflict 1 harm. You can either reduce someone's harm suffered by 1, or you can take a +2 on act under pressure roll. So you can choose from one of those 3 things right now.
Okay.
So you can either choose to inflict a harm.
I'm gonna reduce someone's harm suffered by 1.
Okay, so you want to reduce Reese's harm by 1?
Yes.
Okay, so Reese, you now have 1 harm instead of 2. And then I believe you get a and that's what you do.
Yes. So
Perfect.
like as Reese is like charging towards this thing, and I'm watching her like giant wolf form like go towards it, I notice it kind of like moving its head, getting ready to snap. So like as that's happening, I run over and I like pin my knee against its neck as it snaps at Reese.
Yep.
So she still gets to do what she wants to do, but I'm like stopping it from fully turning its neck to get at her.
Yeah, it probably just pinches her a little bit, dealing her a single harm as opposed to what would be a really considerable bite. Well done. Good job. We'll go back over to, we'll start a new round. So who would like to go first this round? Not having initiative is really fun. Everybody's muted.
Hi, there we go.
There we go.
Because I'm not necessarily attacking, I'm in the position of trying to get my weapon up and functioning again. Instead, Agent Emerald is going to survey the situation of kind of like, okay, so we're trying to look for a circumstance where I can make sure that everybody's safe, but I can also get a clear shot at the target. So they're taking a moment to assess.
Okay. So you're wanting to read a bad situation?
Indeed, I would like to do that.
All right. Well, I'm trying not to emulate your accent. I apologize. Roll me read a bad situation.
Yeah, that is a plus sharp, which I
Sure
do
is.
at a +1. Okay. 2d6 plus 1. 9.
A 9.
Plus
Okay.
sharp.
So you get to ask you hold 1. So
Mhm.
you get to ask, what's my best way in? What's
Mhm.
my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims?
Let's go for. No, we're going to go for the mission. The mission is more important than these people I've not met before. What's most vulnerable to me?
What's most vulnerable to you? So what makes you most dangerous? Okay. So what's most vulnerable to you is that you start to notice that the entity itself is beginning to be able to kind of shift and shape its way, almost as if it's like gooing out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's bending its arm in one way. It's stretching its leg in another. It's kind of moving its neck to get out from under the one wolf that's got it on its chest and the other wolf that's got it by its shoulder to try and form its way out of it. And it's almost at that point where it's about to break free, and you will be next.
Yeah. Agent Emerald is like, I can't use the gun. Oh, okay. And they, I guess, lock eyes with its 1,000 eyes. He puts his hand inside his trench coat again and waits, just hand locked inside, and stares at it.
You got it. Your stare is spine shivering. As it's doing its best to break its way out of its hole. Hole. It's fine. Who's next? Hit me with your best shot.
Reese Reese was just like mildly saved by Trevor, but Reese is still like berserk excited, freaking out. So now she also thinks that Trevor is here to play now. So she's going to, like, in her brain be like, ooh, Trevor's here now. And then like roll over, like directly trying to separate him from the creature and like kind of roll on top of the creature at the same time. But essentially I just want to protect Trevor. Well, like,
so you want to roll to protect someone?
Yes, I do.
All right. Do you have a special move for that?
I do, but I think it's only in my human form.
Okay.
It's my round move.
I'll let you have it. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Then I automatically get a 10.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
But I cannot choose to suffer little harm.
Okay.
Wait. But you may not choose to suffer little harm. Yes. So I will take full harm, minus the -1 because of my berserk. But I will then, I choose to inflict harm on the enemy.
Okay.
By rolling on top of it.
Got it. So in doing so, you kind of push Pan off as your giant form sweeps through. And in doing so, it's like just filling that space is enough to push people back. And as you saw this thing that had nipped you starting to go towards the person that had just kneed it in the neck, you get in the way, and it gets you on your arm as you roll and you fling it with you, and it rips a little bit of your arm, but you fling it away from both them and you, and it now stands there. But we'll say that you did get a good chunk out of it with your bite, dealing it another 3 harm.
Nice. And I go, "Row!" when that happens.
Because we're werewolves that go, "Row!" Sure are. Don't mind. They got their voice box mixed up. It's like Bumblebee. We're fine. Pan, I believe that leads us to you.
Yeah, Pan is sort of like, if you've just sort of been rolled off of, she can see Agent Emerald trying to line up a shot. She's going to, because she only really has claws, dig her claws in the back and almost hold up this creature towards Agent Emerald to fire almost like a clear shot. So in a way she's using him like a shield, but is holding him in place so that a shot can be taken.
So you want to help out another hunter?
Yes.
Cool. You can do that. Go ahead and let's see. Help out. That's going to be a cool roll.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll me cool. I'm actually reading the book, y'all. So I've been doing this wrong the entire time, but it's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
D&D is
that's how
just
you
a
learn
game
how
of
to play.
improv as long as you're having
Does
fun.
never mind. I rolled 2d2. Never mind. That's
Oh.
fine.
Oh god.
Oh my god, thank God.
No.
Oh, I was like, wait.
Ooh, yeah.
What'd you get?
13.
13, max
Yes.
roll.
Perfect. So you thereby give a +1 to Agent Emerald, who I will allow to go now since I believe you were waiting for a clear shot.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting in terms of the very stupid and reckless thing that Agent Emerald was about to do. So, with you having mentioned that the Crocotta is about to kind of make a winding attack for me, I let that happen.
Okay.
But as they're leaping through the air, I guess Pan manages to like grab a shifting leg, and while it's through the air, and there's a bit of slow-mo where Agent Emerald pulls a grenade from inside of their coat and says, "Deploying cryo grenade." And they were holding the pin, they were like holding the release down. They've been cooking it inside their coat. And it just basically explodes, catching both Emerald and the Crocotta in the freezing blast simultaneously. If Pan had rolled worse, it probably would have caught her in it too.
I was like, can I springboard off this thing if I
was
see
gonna-
that coming? Can I just...
I was gonna say, can I tackle Pan out the way?
Currently, I
Sure.
get +2 forward on this because I was reading the bad situation for this event and I've got the help out from Pan.
Correct.
So odds are pretty good in that we're going to kick this thing's ass.
Right.
But
If you want to, I would say I would have to, I would roll. Oh goodness. Yeah, you could try to protect Pan if you'd like to, but it would be a protect someone roll.
That's fine. I
Okay.
was thinking. I want to use like power of the heart, and like
Okay,
to help
yep.
help Pan get out the way. So that's an automatic
10. Perfect.
plus
So
yeah. So that's an automatic 10. So Pan's out of the way of the cryoblast.
perfect. Yeah. So you see this happening. You look at Pan and you go, sure, and you run and you with all of your might just football tackle Pan to the ground as soon as Agent Emerald throws this grenade.
Yeah, so like, because originally I was like pinning this thing, and then Reese came over and like I rolled backwards so that I'd get off it as she rolled on top of it. And as it's trying to get away, and I see Pan go for it as I'm like standing, and I'm like running towards the rest of the group. I see Agent Emerald pull out this grenade and chuck it, and I just full like shoulder tackle Pan's wolf form, and like we both go tumbling as the grenade catches this creature.
All right. Go ahead and roll Agent Emerald.
yeah, I would quite like to roll act under pressure because I'm doing something incredibly stupid. But if you think it's kick some ass, then I understand.
If you can act under pressure. That's fine. I'm a very graceful DM. Yes, you may have this.
Because bear in mind, I am
You-
also throwing this like short range in that I will also blow myself up with this attack. So fun times.
It's perfect. Yep.
For the mission,
cool.
everybody.
For the mission.
Right, so we got 2d6 plus my cool, which is 2, plus 2 forward, so I am currently at +4. Let's go. And it's still a 9. What? Yo.
All right. So that's a mixed success. Which means that you do successfully cryo this entity. But there, we'll say that. Ooh, I just want like your. Do you have 1 armor?
I have 2 armor.
You have 2 armor.
Because I have Battlefield Awareness, so I get a +1 on armor, which is why I'm willing to damage myself to take damage to save time. The old school speed running strat.
Yeah. All I'm thinking of is like the like Terminator T2 when it's like the liquid guy when he gets frozen and then he cracks. I want to say that you were so close that it kind of blew back and got a little bit of your hand as you try to shield it, your pinky shatters.
Yeah, that's sick.
Leaving you with 4 fingers and 1 that has been frozen and as it shatters. But this entity is, for the moment, subdued through a very strange James Bond Q-made grenade.
That is like, I guess, 4 non-lethal harm.
Yeah. So 4 non-lethal harm. Actually, that's perfect. Brings it down to its 0, and it lies there, and you can see underneath this crystalline shell that has formed around it from this cryo bomb, the ever shifting face and the eyes as it's just trying to become aware of its surroundings and trying to get out, but the outside of its body is not able to take form. And you have succeeded in capturing this entity for the menagerie. And you all stay in.
There's a dramatic pose where a agent kind of like gestures their hand to the sides, capture complete, and then there's like a spray of blood from
sure is.
Hand as it splatters. Like, I appear to be severely injured. I appear to have a minor injury.
Han, as a werewolf, reaches into her little satchel and comes over with one of those like pads that you just on your hand.
Trevor's attempting to stand up after just tackling a werewolf out of the way of an ice grenade. Like, I feel like I tackled you and then like you were fine, but because I'm kind of a lightweight, I rolled a bit and like a tree stopped me.
Sure did.
And then I'm just getting up after that, like, and I'm like,
that's gonna bruise.
The smartest thing.
Yep, that's gonna be a bruise. That's gonna be a big bruise. Welcome to your first battle, Bruce. And you all stand now in the middle of this forest at the edge of this cavern with a frozen entity before you. Is there anything else you would like to do in this scene before we close it? One very, very happy.
I think Agent Emerald like thanks Pan for the bandage.
It's that awkward as she's walking slowly turns back into a human, but not quite there yet because she's too focused.
And Pat's, I guess, is Reese in werewolf mode willing to receive Pat's?
Reese is very excited because Reese was playing with the thing and then the thing got up from underneath her and then got frozen by a grenade. So I feel like Reese is like bleeding profusely because she took a big hit and then is like, but so excited she's not paying to anything and she's just like licking the cryo thing.
Oh God.
Like sniffing all around it.
It doesn't taste good. Your tongue gets stuck to it.
I was going to say, does it get stuck to it?
Yep.
Like, hang on a minute.
Your tongue is 100% stuck to this entity that is frozen in cryo since you literally licked dry ice. Yep.
Trevor's leaning on a tree, kind of observing the scene, and he just goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna be sore tomorrow, aren't I?" And he just starts coughing.
Another agent of the menagerie should be here shortly. And even though we're in the forest, we still get the clicks of heels as Emerald walks over to, it's part of the
absolutely
produced kit, the agency issued high heels, all terrain, as they kind of go up to the cryo frozen target and kind of leaning close to the face and go, "Now, I wonder what you were like when you were human."
And for expediency's sake, we will say that eventually you do enter into its lair and you do find, unfortunately, the body of Martin, his soul has been taken from his body very violently. And unfortunately, not too far from him, you also do find the body of Joanne. And you do find a couple more bodies of people you don't recognize. You take a sense that maybe it was a snack on the road, we'll say, is the nicest way we can say it. But there's no sign of another entity in the area. But the fact that there are these bigger preys that are coming in and feeding on the town when there hasn't been in so long is very worrisome. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you all so much. You did it. Nobody's dead yet. I'm going to have to build bigger creatures.
All those people died, though.
Trevor would like to go and put an arm around Pan and be like, I think I'm going to stick around town for a while.
Nice.
And as you're doing that, she's checking like your eyes.
Yeah.
Going. Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
So much fun.
So what we'll do is we'll go back round again. Again, just say where we can find you, the stuff you do, and also your favorite bit that you had for today. And we are going to start with Devon. Oh, hi.
Hey, you can find me on Twitch at GWDevon, on Twitter at GWDevon_. I stream video games and meme about life in D&D and support all of my favorite content creators of all sorts. My favorite part of this, probably when I like tackled Pan out the way. But I really wasn't going to do anything. I was kind of just going to be like, all right. I rolled backwards because Reese went to roll over the thing. And I'm like, probably should make sure the other wolf doesn't get hurt. And I know that this is a wolf and I'm like a scrawny dude. Let me help. Even though this will hurt.
I love it. And then let's hop over to our wonderful Agent Emerald, the fabulous Agent Emerald.
The shiny Agent
Emerald.
Highlight will be poppin'. Hi, hello. I am the androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. It is a pleasure to meet you. I am on Twitch at The Neon Caster, where we both stream cyberpunk video games and talk about them as if they were a book club. We also do a variety of one-shot RPGs, and there will be an upcoming campaign set in Cities of Mist. It's Persona-inspired. It's going to be a fun time, and tune into my Twitter handle at PhantomArtSent to find out more about that. I also do a cyberpunk actual play podcast called The Talent Agency, which you can find on Podbean, iTunes, and a handful of other catches that are around. It's about criminals doing jobs for hire in the arts and entertainment industry in the UK in 2077. I describe it as a queer cyberpunk voguing action. It's a must listen, I must say.
Wonderful, thank you. Did you have a favorite part at all?
Yes, my favorite part is the really effortless dynamic Pan and Reese have together. Yeah, I even though obviously this is like one session in, so character relationships will blossom in all sorts of different ways, and there's probably going to be circumstances where you two conflict, and that's going to be juicy too. But just the effortlessness that you moved into pancake eating, both in physically acted and narratively, was like real smooth. I really like that.
Where our RP skills truly lie.
Pancake eating.
Well practiced.
And speaking of Reese, just a little nerd. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do my intro because I can't think of a favorite part because there's so many. So my intro or outro, I guess, as it is I'm Lily. I'm living a Bard Knock life. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Just a Little Nerd. My streaming schedule is linked in my link tree, which is linked on both of those pages. So if you follow me on social media, I will be social, and you can find me being social in places. Oh, my favorite episode. My favorite part. Oh my gosh, they're all my favorite episodes, even though there are only 2 so far. But let's see. Okay, I think the part that got me the most, just in my heart of hearts as the nerdy girl that I am, is when Agent Emerald defeated the thing and then like struck an anime pose, just my brain was like, oh my god, yes, like so much yes. But also because I'm gonna cheat, the pancake eating was just so synchronized and such an accident. It worked out amazing. And also Trevor's character just in general is just like my everything that I want from Monster of the Week. Great Shaggy, and of course the alpha and some really beautiful descriptions. And so I cheated. I did many favorites.
You just took all of them. You just took all of them. It's fine.
I mean, I'm going to do the same. So.
Oh crap!
Speaking of our wonderful alpha,
Oh hey, woo, everybody.
Ooh, that was an owl. That was a woo.
I'm Kaya. You can find me on the Twitter sphere at Crit Charisma. I live here. I only live here. I loved living here. I will never leave. Again, I am the glitter of the Scratticus Academy. Oh man, I'm trying to think of a favorite part that wasn't already listed. I really enjoyed everybody's dynamic. Black Emerald or Agent Emerald's voice was just, it was feeding me life. And just the aesthetic and everything. I really enjoyed trying to do male voices. This was fun. I found that I am way more like Jeff than I feel comfortable being, and that was a lot of fun. But I do have to, my heart softened with the pancakes. But seeing Trevor's integration into everything and seeing how everybody interacted with the world was always a lot of the pine cone. Boy howdy, the pine cone, and making you drop the magazine instantly after shooting it. So it's like, ha, you're up here, now you're down here.
It was cool for a second, then I went back to being a dork.
Yep, it's fantastic. It was fantastic. But no, I love you all. I love all my children the same. A woo! Everybody in chat. A woo!
A woo.
Thank you.
Well, I guess that just leaves me. I'm Alice, or White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. You can find my links over in chat now for the photography stuff I do, as well as I will be DMing on some other channels, not just this one, in the near future. And I'm a player here, as you can tell. I just had so many favorite moments. Trevor's look, like, and the fact that Trevor is this human that's like, what the hell? Throwing rocks at Reese.
You want to die?
Yeah, it's like you're literally throwing rocks at a werewolf. Agent Emerald's deadpan, just with everything, which was marvelous. I will say I love the pancake bit. I can't help myself, I'm sorry. And our wonderful Alpha doing all those different voices off the top, like going and running with it. I don't
remember any of the voices. I'm gonna have to go back to the first season.
I'm like, you always have to rewatch otherwise. But yes, otherwise, this was brilliant. I loved all the characters and how everyone reacted with each other. Otherwise, please check out the links coming up in chat now. That includes the Discord. That we do have a channel just for this game, and we'd love to hear what your favorite bits are. And what you think of it. If you want to get into this game or one of the other viewer games we have, this is a viewer game. I'm running Eberron on Wednesdays, and we also have a Humblewood campaign. Drop Scrat a message on Twitter, and we will get you in a game. It works. It works. If you've missed this episode, it will be up on YouTube, as well as all of our other games, and they are in playlists for each game, so you can check over there. A huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Hero Forge, Mage Hand Press, and also the Deck of Many. Please go and check out all of their wonderful links and things over there. Otherwise, stick around. We have one more show left for today. Keep evoking emotions, and we'll see you later.
Having a woo-some week.
See everyone.